to radio. Let's see those people call in.
1.
There's 1.
2.
2, 3, 4.
Pretty fast. Yeah, New York.
Joey is one of those in Broward. 4. Uh-oh. I don't see any other ones going. 5. Well, there we go.
Slow.
Couple. Boca and Palm Beach. Now, there goes Palm Beach.
Wow.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Okay. Boca got left out. That was kind of a slow. There are only 6 lines ringing now, okay? Even after all this time. No, that's not the point. I'm not trying to lay anything off on him, but I'm saying the last thing of importance that happened was we had a madman going nuts in the production studio over here, blasting us again. We thought that was all over with, and we thought we had it pretty well. And basically, it has been over with from over on this side, the FM production to my left. As you look at your radio speaker, ladies and gentlemen, the Dolphins are moving from the left to the right with the aqua, orange, and black and blue. And, Sammy's looking good tonight. But anyway, we got that all straightened out, okay? And Scott's been very cooperative, and they got the speaker tilted to the moon on a certain angle there. And then here yesterday, all of a sudden, we had this incredible blasting going on. And I left all that dead air as usual, because when that happens, I don't really know what to do. You know what I mean? I'm not sure whether to scream or eat a banana.
Yeah.
And then he cranked it up even louder, and then he put some obscene stuff on tape and played it back for our benefit. Very juvenile crap was going on over here, and I was just fit to be tied. And I get out there with Disney and Boy Gary, which is like being left with the Heinrich Himmler and Joseph Goebbels, and go into the office, and I'm foaming at the mouth, and I said, this kind of, don't worry about that stuff. That's no, we don't even want to talk about that. It's nothing. It's nothing. So I guess when you don't understand what it takes to come in here and do a show, not just this show, but any show, when you don't understand the day in and day out machinations of a radio station, it's easy to say, don't waste our time with that because we want to talk about the same crap that we talk to you about every time we talk to you. And that's, Jack Thompson and the FCC. That's the only thing that they know how to talk about. There's nothing else that they can talk about except this individual out there in our audience who's just driving everybody nuts and who just continues making stuff up as he goes along and harassing and destroying the show and destroying my life and just going on, I won't say unchallenged, but unimpeded, I think would be a good expression. And it just never ends. And I'm supposed to sit back and wait until some judge has got the guts to say, hey, that's enough of this crap, and you're just out of control. And believe that it's going to stop. And then to top it all off, I go home, and all I want to do is watch the Cubs lose in peace. I knew they were going to lose that game. They start Jeff Pico. It should never have been that close in the first place. Only the Mets get the bases loaded. They can only score 1 run, and they shouldn't have scored any, except that Walton was like doing a sleepwalk. I think that disease in center field in Shea Stadium is contagious from Juan Samuel. I think anybody who plays center field suddenly becomes lost. But I knew the Cubs would lose, and it was no problem because the Cardinals lost, and the Cubs are still ahead, and everything's great. And I'm getting these calls from my landlord in California, and calls about his attorney, his hysterical attorney in Miami, and about my satellite dish and the permit and this and that. And then I've come to find out that this radio station is sticking its nose. There are people in this building who are interfering in my private goings-on there. They haven't got anything to do with that.
Wow.
And I've had these screaming and yelling sessions with a sales manager in this building, and I've explained to him what's been going on. I don't want to rehash it all over again. And, to talk to anybody in this building about any legitimate problem, you see that purple... No, seriously, the purple stripe on the wall there, you could just as easily talk to that purple stripe and get as much out of that as you will out of any of these people. And I've never seen anything like it. If there's anybody in the audience who peddles hearing aids, believe me, this is the place to come. You do a bigger business than Spencer's doing with a car wash, okay? You will peddle so many hearing aids because these people are deaf. They don't hear anything, okay? The only time they hear something is if it's something that we do on here they don't like. Then they hear it.
That's right. That's all I ever hear about.
I don't want to mention you, but...
That's all I ever hear about.
Really? Well, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
You're
only if it's
pretty
wrong.
lucky to still be sitting there, I'll tell you that.
Amazing.
You should kiss the ground.
Amazing.
12 minutes after 10 at WIOD, and now that the summer vacations are over, the kids are back in school, the snowbirds are back up north, and everything is just... But have a nice day, Cheryl. And tell Tom thanks so much for the check. And tell Disney. Well, I can't say it on here. You won't see them anyway. They're in that football meeting, okay? They're in another one of those meetings, okay? See, I come in extra early this morning because I've got these incredible things going on, and I'm just ready to go nuts. What? How about the phones? Well, they don't. What are they going to call about? They're sitting back there listening. All right, if there are people listening, let's see. Roger wants to see the phone ring. He thinks we're going to go through another desperate day on the phone. Don't tell me we're going to have that with the phone for the next month or so. We're another one of these South Florida... you know how we go through these little cycles?
I don't know.
Well, look at that. Even Palm Beach lit up. There's just 6, 7 lines. There they go. That took like 4. They're out there. They're just listening, okay?
They're okay today.
Don't be so insecure and paranoid, Roger, just because you work at WIOD with a bunch of mungheads. No, I'm serious. They have got more people with titles in this place, and there isn't a one of them who's worth a quarter, okay? I was going to say a nickel. I'm trying to be generous this morning, okay? They don't know what the hell day it is, much less anything else. And I wish the entire audience could have sat in on the meeting that I had with these people yesterday. I swear most of you would already be on the floor rolling in pain from the arsenic you would have ingested, okay? I mean, here I've been going through this thing with the city of Plantation and its stinking permit and the satellite dish for a year and a half, okay? And I was this close to getting it straightened out. This close, okay? Put your 2 fingers together and have room for a little pubic hair in between. Can we say that, or will they get upset in Washington again about I mean, that's another story now. We got these right-wingers sitting up there, and everything you say, it's okay for Oprah and Donahue and Geraldo and Sally and all these shows. All they talk about is sex every day, and they bring on the transvestites and the transsexuals and the bisexuals and the non-sexuals and the hermaphrodites, and that's okay, and they do it strictly to titillate the audience to get ratings. They don't do it to educate or inform or anything else that they might tell you. They do it only to titillate the audience, but that's okay. But if we say douchebag on the air, or if Steve Dahl, does sexual humor on the air, or Howard Stern or whoever it is, then all of a sudden they're going to have a nervous breakdown, and they're going to start enforcing the rule, and they're going to come down to everybody's ass, and they're going to come after the license. It's a bunch of crap is what it is, okay? It's like living in Nazi Germany is what it is. How the hell did I get into that? Oh, I was talking about this meeting, There are other things going on in this radio station besides Jack Thompson, okay? And when we're sitting in here trying to do a radio show and we've got some moron blasting noise intentionally because he's got a childish mentality, the same one who comes in here and cranks up the air conditioning to 120 because we don't want to sit in a meat locker every day, even though he does find it's comfortable enough to come in and eat whenever the food is in here. That's okay. No, we don't want to. No, that's nothing. Don't talk about, we got this other important stuff we want to keep talking about until you're so sick that you want to puke on the floor and can't even do a show anymore. That's what we want to keep talking about. It's incredible. And you have conversations with people. You can sit there. You can talk calmly, as I have. You can rant and rave, as I have. You can call on the phone, as I have, to our illustrious sales manager, who makes our program director look like Albert Einstein, and that should speak for itself. And you talk to him, and you tell him something as clearly as you were drawing a picture, okay? As if you brought in Picasso to paint a picture to tell him exactly what the story is. And he listens, and he agrees, and 2 days later, he does exactly the opposite.
Oh, it's so true.
Now, I don't have enough excitement going on in my life already that I need to have people inside this building. They didn't pay for my satellite dish. They didn't arrange to have it installed. They haven't gone through all the grief and all the lies and all the distortions and all the BS that I've gone through for the past year and a half. They didn't attend all the meetings in Plantation. But all of a sudden, they're interfering because they want to help me out. So that now I'm within this close and cut the hair in half of getting fined $200 a day. And my landlord, who's out in California, bless his soul, is apoplectic, is foaming at the mouth, okay? because the good folks here at WIOD are giving me so much help. It's like the Boy Scout who's dragging the old lady across the street, and she's screaming and kicking and carrying on. And they say, lady, he's doing his good deed for the day. And she says, I don't want to cross the street. And that's the kind of help I'm getting from the good folks here at WIOD who are really helping me straighten out the satellite problem. I was within a quarter of a hair of getting it straightened out. And they're sticking their nose into it because they're such a helpful... How do they have time to do it when they've got all these important football meetings to attend? Huh? I want to know the answer to that question. Now, do you want to do the rest of this show? Because I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started.
No, I think
Wait till they hear the Tim Williams story.
I think you should get it off your chest.
Wait till they hear that story. They're not going to believe it. It's like deja vu.
It is. Really?
If I had the power that is attributed to me, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd have my own satellite station. You know, like that preacher that's on 24 hours a day with the glass. Have you ever seen him?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he's Gene something out in California. He's on tape, and he's on 24 hours a day. And they have that number on there, and the money just keeps pouring in. And he just talks double talk all the time. And he's got pictures of horses that come on the screen, and pictures of the city, different cities, and traffic, and boats, and lakes. And he's on. If I had that kind of power, I'd put Jim Baker to shame. And I may just readopt the fetal position. I was on the floor here for a while to see if it would help. It didn't help.
No?
It's 10:23 at WIOD. It's our happiness station. Isn't it great now that the tourists are gone?
There's only one reason I'd like to do the show today. It upsets them.
No, it doesn't upset them.
It doesn't?
They're too stupid to be upset. Don't you understand?
Well, then I don't want to do it then.
Arnold's Royal Castle, 12490 Northwest 7th Avenue, North Miami. What, he spoke well of me before or after he was here? Oh, afterward. Well, I can't say that you're here? Oh, well, don't give me this crap, Joey, like it's a big secret. No, he wants to plug his show. Joey will be on in 32 minutes on Channel 10. Joey will be on there with Ann Bishop and Dwight Lauderdale and asking the musical question, what does Don know? I heard a rumor.
Who peed on your cornflakes this morning?
I heard a rumor. You don't say peed on me. Yeah, see what I mean about him? He's filthy and disgusting. I say douchebag, they get upset. You say peed, it's okay. It's cute. It's cute. I bet you're not going to say that on Channel 10, are you?
So where'd you go for this vacation? You slept on a satellite dish for a week or something?
What did I just say to him? What was I going to tell him before he started the diversionary tactics?
I don't know.
Something about that awful show of his. Now, we wish you.
I don't care what you.
We wish you the best, but would you please keep your clothes on during the show? That was so tacky.
Can I tell you what happened on that show?
What?
It didn't get canceled yet. I know, much to your chagrin.
No, I'm talking about the first episode on Monday when you were in that. We had it on here.
Massage.
And you were getting a massage. But keep your clothes on. Don't you understand?
You're supposed to
keep your clothes on. If you keep taking your clothes off, the SPCA is going to come on and take you off the air.
Neil, I was going to kiss you on the lips because we got.
He came in here and kissed me. It was disgusting.
We got a 17
I know where you
share.
hang out.
I got a 17 share. Can you
Where?
believe that? On the television.
When?
Nielsen, overnight.
That's because I'm plugging the hell out of your
right,
show.
Exactly right.
We can't even buy a call from 11 to 11:30 on this show anymore.
I wanted to kiss you about.
Yeah, kiss this. Cousin Brucey's a nice guy, but he was so boring yesterday.
I got some pictures for you.
Do you?
Did you guys go on Sandy?
Yeah,
oh, that's
no,
what he interrupted. That's what he interrupted.
I did not. I went over there to do some tapes with
You
Cousin
people
Bruce.
are such whores, it's incredible.
Here's the guy who created the Nutrisystem.
Running around from every... Get out of here. Don't start ripping my sponsors again now, will you please? Don Zimmer lost 23 pounds on Nutrisystem. You see the way they played last night? It looks like it.
Played with the Mets. This is what I wanted to show you and look at how the stadium was filled.
69?
Shea Stadium. Here we go.
Who is this other guy there?
69?
I don't recognize him. Was he a Met? He wasn't a Met, huh?
No, it was not a Met. That's the general manager of the stadium.
Oh, of course. Oh, there's the dugout. I don't recognize any of those guys either.
Isn't that nice? Oh, I guess we don't
Bring
have a camera
Johnny
here,
home. WNBC. Isn't that exciting?
You going to show these on
By the way,
TV?
Larry King wanted to wish you well on your TV show. He got a little message. Listen. Loan me $50.
I got to ask you one thing. I got to go to work.
Wait a minute. What? They never use these on the air, and it's easy to see why. Now, they're pretty good. They're not
TV
bad.
guy called me yesterday, and they want to use my face and your body.
it okay? You know, I was originally, it's funny you mentioned that, because listen to me. I was originally going to use that as one of the things I was going to do today and ask whose head would you put on what body in relationship to that TV guide. You know, I was the first one to discover that before I went on vacation. I got the thing in here, we got it in the mail, and I said, that's not her body. She only wishes that was her body. That's Ann Bishop's body. Anybody can see that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, wait a minute. Let's put Ann Bishop's body with Brian Norcross's head. Wouldn't that be cute?
You're leaving?
Good luck to you, Joey.
You are the best.
I know it. I sure beat the hell out of you, didn't I?
I'm not supposed to be pretty.
Huh? Well, you're living up to billing, I'll tell you that. Just keep don't shake my hand hard, I'm telling you. I'm serious, I jammed my finger. No, kiss me. Get out of here. Oh, boy. Man. Even my dogs kiss me better than that. Good luck to you, Joey. We'll see you in a couple of years.
Bye.
When you're out of work again.
Good Lord.
God, I don't go for that. God, what would Jack think about that? Some guy coming in here kissing and kissing and kissing.
It's on the cheek.
Well, I don't care. Let him kiss Steve on the cheek.
Which one?
Well, I don't want to say. I don't think we can say that. They'll get upset in Washington again. No, I'm serious. I don't know whether to go out on strike or just to walk away. What do you think? Who's on line 4 in Broward? Hello.
Yeah, how you doing today?
Should I walk out, sir?
Excuse me?
Should I just walk out?
Walk out of what?
This place.
I think you should walk out of the courthouse out there next time they bring you in for your satellite.
Yeah.
You know what it is, though? They want your lodge. You see, they got to have your lodge. A lot of lodge. That's all they want.
They want what?
Money.
They already got my money, sir. Get out of here. This man knows nothing what he's talking about. They already got my money. That guy was from New York, wasn't he? And it sounded very bad, too. Are all the calls going to sound like that? What do I mean, all the calls? There's 3 calls on hold. See, we thought the excuse yesterday was it was the day after Labor Day. I have a feeling we're another one of those South Florida cycles.
Oh, no.
Because they do go in cycles. Remember we used to talk about that constantly? Where they just don't want to talk to anybody anymore. Monday was great. Came back from vacation. It was a holiday. Big welcoming back. You know, it's like, drop dead. Real good, friendly town. No, I'm seriously thinking of just packing it in. Just walking out. Of course, I don't want to do that because that would make Jack real happy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But anyway, it's 10:33 at WIOD. I'm tired of just being here to promo other people's show. I mean, Joey's okay. He's a good guy. Never stole a freight train. But that show, Joey. Oh, God. Anyway, Boca and Palm Beach are not lit, okay? Now, when you folks decide that we can get 8 calls all at the same time, and I don't want to talk about Lester today, okay? I heard enough of that this morning. I don't want to discuss Lester. Do you?
What about him?
Some guy calls Bill that Lester used to, years and years ago, came down here. He was a bellboy in a hotel, and he used to run bets to the track.
Bellboy?
And Bill said, shouldn't it be a bellman?
Yeah,
said,
with Lester.
It was a long time ago.
He ran bets for friends to the
I think
track.
it was Alexander Graham Bell he was talking about. Anyway, we got a mobile on here before the break, I guess. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah.
This is Bill in a mobile. Listen, I just want to put the whole dog track situation right into a nutshell.
Yes, sir.
Aren't they a bitch?
Yeah.
Goodbye, Neil. Thank you very much.
Very well done, wasn't it?
I'm impressed. It takes
nobody
a lot.
called yesterday about that. Here they had this grade B dog that mistakenly was allowed to run in a D race, won by 5.5 lengths, paid $11 and change. I never mentioned that yesterday. That's a hell of a price for a dog that stands over the field like that. And the public got screwed on that. And then they canceled a race because they found out that the kids that put the dogs in the boxes. Right before the race, they stick them in the right box. Number 1 goes in. They mixed up 2 dogs, and they put them in the wrong box. And then a lot of people watched the race. It went off, and they left and tore up their tickets. And it turned out they had a refund coming because they declared it no race.
Good Lord!
Now, how can you do that? I remember years ago at Hazel Park. Nobody's going to believe me on this. Maybe Dirk Ackerman will, because he remembers everything. Years ago at Hazel Park, in a harness race, the outside 2 horses lined up wrong. In other words, the 7-horse was in the 8-hole, and the 8-horse was inside of him in the 7-hole. Now, I don't understand that. I mean, have you ever been to harness racing?
No.
Oh. Well, they have the number. Well, you like at Calder for thoroughbred racing, they've got the number on the stall. On the front, as you look at the starting gate,
Sure.
they've got the number 1, 2, and then if there's an entry, they don't necessarily are in the same order, but you'll see like 2 might have the rail and 1A. You know what I mean? You see the numbers right where in the stall where they're supposed to go. So there's no way to confuse it. All right? Wayne wants... Oh, sure, tell Wayne to bring all he wants. Tell him to bring something special for Disney and Boy Gary and his lemming. And tell him to bring a real special package for Jeff Arnold... what's his name? Jeff Clark. How quickly they forget in sales. Who's helping me with my satellite dish so nicely that I only wish he should break a leg. What was I talking about before?
Dogs.
Oh, about the dogs. So anyway, nobody really had anything to say yesterday. We didn't get any calls yesterday. It was the day after Labor Day. We got more calls on there right now than we had all day yesterday, don't we? It's pretty grim. I want to tell you about... You send Jim Baker money? Oh, wait a minute, Spencer. We give you all our hard-earned money to wash the cars, and you send it off to that Jim Baker? Well, no, I'm starting my own ministry, so I'll give you the address before you leave the building, okay? Praise the Lord. That's the name of it, the Oh Jesus Ministry. You got it. Now, who's the guy with all the beer? What are you talking about? Do you want to talk to your public? Come over here by this microphone 1 minute here, Spencer, and say hello to your audience. Come on, Spencer, and be...
Hello, you sweet people. I love all of you.
It's not what you said during the commercial break. Boy, I can't repeat what you said a minute ago. And don't talk about Joey Reynolds like that. He was a guest in the building.
I love it.
Yeah, that's not what you said. Okay, go out and do some business, will you, Spencer? Spencer's here, so go get your car washed, folks. The guy wants to retire soon.
Yeah, 2 more years.
2 more years? Great. I'm going to work about 2 more hours, I think, in this place. Anyway, see you, Spencer. Get on here. 10:40 at WIOD. Steve today, reaction to the president's message on the drug war. Guests to be announced at a future date. Like about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, after this place gets my satellite dish all straightened out. I'm going to tell you something. This is just so amazing, this place. It's just mind-boggling, the lengths to which they will go to help you out. Even when you don't want any help, they will help you out. Even when you wish they would mind their own goddamn business, they will help you out. Okay? Well, I don't think I can say that anymore, can I? Because Al, what's his name up there in Washington, is going to get very upset.
Al Lewis?
Al Lewis. Grandpa is going to get really upset. No, seriously, are we living in America or are we living in some kind of a fascist dictatorship? I'm really beginning to wonder that. It's ridiculous. So, in other words, all these television pornographers can come on every day and do all these sex shows and have all these freakos and wackos and weirdos and anybody, and they do it strictly to titillate the public and build ratings. I don't care what anybody says. We all know that's exactly why they're doing it. I mean, even Donahue admitted that, okay?
Sure.
This is what the public wants. That's what they're doing. That's okay. But if somebody says douchebag on the air, then right away we got a bunch of right-wing fanatics up there in Washington who are going to get all upset and start a big song and a dance, and we got to go through all this crap again because they're going to decide, you know, what the First Amendment really means. Isn't that great? Now, have you ever seen any study that indicates that words hurt anybody?
Never.
Even children. See, they always use children as an excuse. We're protecting the children. I got news for you. The smallest children who would ever hear a radio, of any age, hear words far more graphic in the schoolyard every day than they're ever going to hear on radio.
Every day.
Is that correct?
Every day.
How the hell did I get into this? Well, this is what we should be talking about constantly, 24 hours a day, because that's all they want to talk about here. They're obsessed with it. They're overrun with it to the point where it's coming out of my ears. It's coming out of every pore in my body. Okay? Like some kind of a WIOD disease. It's 10:43 at WIOD. When's the next Dolphins game coming up? Oh, the regular season starts this weekend, right?
Uh-oh.
And the Canes start their season Saturday, and we got the Dolphins and the Bills at JRS on Sunday. And, oh, man, isn't this exciting?
Boy, I'm excited.
And you know what Larry King said?
Once I was asked to speak to the Hallandale Police Benevolent Association annual dinner. I spoke, and at the end of the dinner, they gave me a certificate making me honorary Chief of Police of Hallandale, Florida.
Oh, wait a minute. And you know what he told them?
Loan me $50.
Oh, God. Isn't it great? And he comes on the air with his pontificating BS, and he's a brilliant, great broadcaster, revered and admired by everyone except those of us who know him, of course. And that's what's wrong with America, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell. That's what's wrong with this godforsaken douchebag place. I'm serious. I'm hearing those boots stomping in the background any second. Now, wouldn't you have thought that all of this would have happened under Heinrich Reagan? Because didn't Mr. Bush talk about a kinder, gentler fascism or something like that? Jeez, I just don't understand what's going on here. It's just incredible. I understand what's going on here, like inside this building. It's called non-compos mentis. We do have an opening in date if you'd like to join the passing parade here at WIOD at 751-9463. And to share a few smiles with us here during these exciting 4 hours today. And, of course, the Boca and Delray line is always open. We always extend a warm welcome for you to call on that line and say, hi, how you doing? At 278-9463, 278-WIOD.
Yeah, you get through immediately.
And here's the thing from Boy Retard. I've got some ideas on Breeders' Cup coverage, but need your input first. See me when you get a chance. Well, I can't see him. This is from Boy Gary. I can't see any of these people because they're in constant, never-ending football meetings, okay? And the embarrassing part of it is they're not in meetings about the games that are going on this season. They're having meetings about next season's schedule, okay? That's how far ahead. That's how obsessed they are.
They are.
And just remember our slogan here, ladies and gentlemen. At WIOD, it's more than a game. It's a neurotic obsession. It's 10:45 at WIOD. Let's take a call from one of our good friends in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Morning, Neil. Good morning, Bert.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good. Look,
How nice to hear your voice today.
Thank you. Neil,
Isn't it a beautiful day, sir? Isn't it great that all those pain-in-the-ass tourists have gone back?
Thank God.
Don't have all those long lines and all that heavy traffic. And we could just sit around here and be miserable together, right?
Yeah, you're damn right on that.
There you go.
Neil,
Listen, I got
thank
this
you
problem with my satellite dish. Would you like to interfere with it, sir?
No, because I'm trying to get one myself.
Well, there you go. I'll give you
Lauderdale's
Disney's
no better.
number and Jeff Clark's home address, and they'll help you get it all straightened out, even if you don't want them to, sir.
I don't need their help, thank you.
Neither do I.
Neil, I want to thank you for turning me on to a good restaurant.
Well, see, there you go again. If Neil's... Oh, I never got into that part.
No.
I'll get to that after this... after that Tim Williams speech I heard yesterday. It was like deja vu, sir. It was like sitting back in the offices in the annals of WINZ and listening to Tim Williams pontificate about my tremendous powers of manipulating the South Florida radio audience. In other words, if I tell you something is great, no matter how bad it is, you're going to listen to it. For example, if I told you that the Smeg Green show was tremendous, you would tune it in, right?
No way.
Okay. Huh. Good caller. Okay, what were you saying?
I went to Wings Plus for the first time this weekend.
Outstanding.
Excellent, excellent food. And I didn't realize that on Sundays they have all you can eat for like $5.49.
I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah, they had a sign, the one on Prospect over here, not far.
Well, maybe they're trying to keep it a secret. They don't want me to promote that because then all the schnorrers will come in, you know.
Oh, I'll tell you, it was fantastic, and I really want to thank you for turning me on to that.
Or maybe they do want me to promote it, and the account executive is just screwed up as usual. But that would be very rare here, you know.
Well, you know, it's what do you want? You know, you've got you and the bird are great, but the people behind you that are trying to hold everything together, they fall apart a lot.
Yeah.
Neil, I want to thank you.
They fall apart. I think you have no idea how profound that statement was when you said they fall apart a lot. Boy, I just thought about it for about 2 seconds, and I think I could never have said it better.
Well, I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
See
Bye.
You. It's 10:48 at WIOD. After this very important message or two that we're going to pass along, then I'm going to tell you about this remarkable power. I didn't even know that I had it. I have these incredible powers of persuasion, and if I'm indeed that powerful, I should at least be on the Jimmy Swaggart show, huh?
Yeah, great idea.
I mean, who the hell needs this? We have a new name here. In fact, they have it up on the marquee out front. It says, this is the blind leading the blind here at WIOD/WGTO. No, seriously, there's nothing you can tell them that penetrates. It just doesn't sink in. We could be standing in an inferno, and all the powers that be in the building could be walking with their heads down, as they always are, through the hallway there. We could say, the building's on fire, there's an inferno, run for your lives. And they would look at you like, did you read that thing in the Wall Street Journal today about...
It's true. It's true, kids.
Did you see that performance that Jack put on in court yesterday, and the judge got all angry and threatened him? And what? That's all they would say to you. They just, they are so, I wouldn't even say one-dimensional. I would say they are non-dimensional. Because dimension implies something that isn't there.
So if I ran up to him at that time and said, the building's on fire,
if you
they
ran
would
up to him and said anything, they would ignore you.
They would go, that's not important.
They would say, there's that pest again. He needs to be removed immediately.
They didn't say that.
Well, pretty close.
No.
Pretty close. Close. Because, I gave them my word on that. They think I'm some kind of a loose cannon, and that anything they say, I'll repeat on the air, which is not true. But it's just that certain elements of the conversation with these upper-level management people that were so shocking, because I've heard it all before. Mm-hmm. And this is not part of the area, or any of the areas that would be like classified information, okay?
Okay.
But they're, all these stations do all this research and these focus groups. They pay all these big bucks, giant bucks, which is like flushing it down a toilet.
They love this.
I could tell them the same thing in 5 minutes, but they wouldn't believe me. But when they start telling me that I can tell, in other words, you people out there are so stupid. Now, this isn't me saying this. This is them, all right, that I can tell you anything and you'll believe it. In other words, if I tell you that I'm trying to think of a show, that Bob Gordon on WFTL has got the greatest morning show in the history of broadcasting, that you will believe it and listen to it and put it down in your diaries, okay, for the ratings. Now, do you believe that? See, and at Zeta, doesn't this sound familiar? When they tried to say to me, well, geez, you've got this gigantic audience in the morning. Of course, now they don't have any audience at any time. But you've got this big audience and these great demographics, and the show is sold out. But we need to translate it to like afternoon drive.
That's right.
And if you would just be more positive about the music, and I said to Tim Williams and Pete Bolger, Rose Folger, I said, I could offer my audience $50 a day apiece to listen to that music. And if they don't like it, they're not going to listen to it. Do you think that was an accurate statement? I mean, there might be some who might take the $50 and lie, say they listen. But, that's basically the point. If people like something, if it's good, they'll listen to it. I can't sit here and convince you that something that is an abomination is good. Right?
No kidding.
Like Bush Bing Bang.
No kidding.
Who is an abomination, by the way, and who's going off real soon. And I also told them, if you've been here more than 5 days, you know something about this market. There has never, ever been, a conservative talk host, with the exception of Alan Courtney, and I'll get to that in a minute, who's had any ratings in this market at all. And that includes all of them, Spellerberg and Thompson and you name it. They're just, thank goodness, even though this is a Yahoo town, there just is a very small fraction of English-speaking people who are into that real far ultra-right-wing crap, okay? Thank goodness. Now, Courtney was an exception because in the beginning he was a liberal, amazingly enough. And the old people didn't listen to him because of his philosophy. They listened to him because he was on. You know what I mean? He was on forever. Forever. He was the first one in the market. He was on the air here for 30 years. His audience was so geriatric that they made WOLD look like a kindergarten. And that's the reason he had the following. Not because he was a right-winger or a left-winger, or if he had no wings, they would have still listened, okay? And it was terminal. It was awful. Hello. What do you want? 4 hours of that. But they just don't want to listen. See, these people in mismanagement, they have to find out for themselves. They've got to have it in black and white. They can't sit down with somebody who's been here or a group of people who have been here a long time and discuss these things intelligently, because some of us already have been through all of this. We've been through the grinder. We know the ins and outs of this market. Right?
Mm-hmm. Almost 14 years.
Like the Bob Gordon show. And the Big Wilson show. Now, I don't want to pick on Big. He's a nice guy. No talent, but a nice guy. So anyway, I don't know if anything I've made has made or said has made any sense to anyone, but those of you in the audience who work for, it's not just working for idiots, it's working for people who just don't even have the capacity to hear you. You can all relate to what I'm talking about today. They just can't. What was the station? Oh, it was WS News. Remember the Ken Nordine thing where they used to have that breaker? He'd say, "We hear you." Remember that?
Of course.
Well, we're going to have one on WIOD. It says, "We don't hear you. No matter what you say, we don't hear you. We can't hear you, and we don't want to hear you. No matter what it is. Because we have other important things that we need to keep hocking a Chinik about day after day after day. Until you are so tired of hearing about it that you're just going to pass out in nervous exhaustion. Okay? I don't want to hear about Jack Thompson anymore because Jack is full of crap, okay? Jack makes up just outrageous crap as he goes along, and it's the Joseph Goebbels school of the big lie. If you keep repeating it often enough, pretty soon people will start to believe it. Well, the bottom line is that nobody in this town believes any of it because they know that it's all a pile of crap and that it's just a bunch of psychotic garbage, okay? And as far as the FCC is concerned, you know, all of that stuff is eventually going to get thrown out in court because they cannot just tinker with the First Amendment to suit 5 nerdy douchebags up there in Washington and to pacify all the right-wingers like Jesse Helms and all of his ilk. It just isn't going to fly, and they even know that. They've even admitted part of that. But I think we ought to have a long, exhaustive discussion about it when we come back after Henry Barrow and the 11 o'clock news. Henry,
Holly-wally doodle all the day.
Okay, it's 11:05 at WIOD. The only way I'm going to straighten this out, because during the news break there, and I do apologize to Henry because I would have loved to hear the story about Rick Weaver, but during that break, I went down the hall to see our sales manager, and his door was closed again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not all the way, but another one of these meetings. Mm-hmm. See, what they're doing now, they're having the meetings today to decide what time the meetings will be tomorrow and Friday. Okay?
That's true.
No, I take that back. They'll be out of town Friday for 6 weeks. So I think the only way to do this is to have the audience call Jeff Clark, who's our sales manager, and tell him to get out of my satellite dish, okay? Tell him to leave me alone.
My.
Don't you think that's a good idea? Because I can't. I'm in the building, but I think they'll have better success getting the message through to him than I will, because I can't reach him. They were having another football meeting this morning for 6 hours. See, what they do is they, like, run through the Dolphin Express. They go, like, through a dry run. And Sonny and Joe... In fact, Joe was sweating up a storm in the sports booth. Sonny and Joe have to, like, throw these long passes across the conference table. And, no, it's embarrassing. You know, they're running around there. Sonny's already lost 40 pounds. You see him, he looks great. But he says this is a little bit too much, okay? He's getting a little too old for this, and it's embarrassing. And you hear the ball every now and then, like, come down in the middle of the conference table and flop up into Disney's face. It's So the number here at WIOD, the office number, is 759-4311, and I'd be very appreciative. That's just our office number. I don't want to get the switchboard girl all upset. She doesn't even know who I am. No, do you know that you know that somebody called here for Neil Rogers one day? I forget what it was about.
No.
And she said, I don't know who that is.
Mm-hmm. GTR on up front, I understand. GTR is...
Oh.
Somebody told me that.
Well, maybe she knows who Jeff Clark is. He's the sales manager here at WIOD, and I'd really appreciate if you folks would call him now. And don't be nasty, but just leave a message for him. He probably won't have time to speak to each and every one of you. But, you know, but if you do get to be nice to him, because he's had a rough life, and he's a very confused guy, very confused. And explain to him, just bug out a Neil satellite dish, that he's getting it straightened out, and to leave it alone, that he's screwing up my life. Okay?
Does he really have that much time on his hands?
Well, I don't think so, because I can never get a hold of the guy. He's like always in there with the door closed. Now, do you remember the guy who called from the convenience store the other day and was talking about when he... Do you remember when he said why they closed the door and they locked the customers out?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Loan me $50.
It's 11:08 at WIOD. We do have an open line in Palm Beach at 655 WIOD. 655-9463. Coral Springs. Okay, good call. He must have just gotten off with Jeff Clark.
That was great.
Wasn't that good? Here's another Coral Springs.
Neil.
Oh, there's a voice on this one, though. Bad luck.
Oh,
As soon as you came on, 3 lines just dropped off, sir.
How you doing?
It's obvious the audience is really intensely involved in what we're talking about today. We got several open lines again, just like yesterday, all over again. Like I said yesterday, no matter what I talked about, they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They never cared in the first place.
Honduras, man.
Mm-hmm.
Neil.
Mm-hmm.
I got a few people here that want to say hello to you. Okay, I'm going to get one of
What do you
them.
mean they want to say hello to me?
Yeah, they want to say hello. Hold on a second. Well, Neil, this is Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, get out of here. So we don't do weak imitations. Call up the Alice Rantel show tomorrow morning, sir, and good luck to you. Get on Joey's show. You can be a guest too. Impersonating a human being. Look at that phone board now, man. We're down to 3 calls, Roger. Isn't that good? Well, we might as well blow those 3 off, too, huh? Might as well start from scratch. I told you, this is just like yesterday. No matter how traumatic, no matter what's going on, don't confuse these people with it. They just don't want to talk to us anymore. That's great. Thanks a lot, folks. Nice to see your very vocal support. Anyway, I have a little if you believe that. Okay, it's 11:13 at WID. Thank you so much. Our Dolphin Digest just came in. Look at that. It's Mike Disney's picture on the front there, and he's standing all alone in the middle of Joe Robbie Stadium saying, "Where am I and what's going on?" Did Jeff get any calls, by the way, Sharon? Did we get any calls on the switchboard? You don't know. Sharon just wants to keep a low profile, stay out of trouble. Friday is her last day. We're going to have a gigantic party, by the way, I hope. We're inviting everybody who ever has brought food in to bring in tons of food and cakes and wish Sharon the best. She's a great human being, and, boy, she is getting out at just the right time. Seriously, I congratulated her this morning.
I know.
And I mean that sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Anybody who gets out of here now is doing the right thing. Trust me. In fact, here comes one of the reasons for it. Just walked into the control room as I spoke, okay? Here comes one of the mean. Well, he doesn't have his lemming on his shoulder. Now, do they have an operation where they can separate? Do you know that Sally Jesse the other day had Siamese twins on her show? Now, I don't want to sound insensitive, but do you want to see Siamese twins on television? And it was right after breakfast.
No.
It was Friday, I think. Friday morning. It was the most tasteless, the most exploitive, the most grotesque thing that anybody could possibly do. And you know they were only exploiting it, okay? Just like after Rain Man came out. Remember they had all those Ojan provocateur savants coming on or whatever they are?
Sure.
And they're just exploiting those poor people and putting them on camera and pounding on the piano. It's, and all they're doing is exploiting it. See, that's okay. That's all right. But God forbid that somebody should say penis on the air or something, and right away they're going to have a nervous breakdown, and Jesse Helmsley's going to have a committee meeting, and they're going to meet with Mike Disney, and they're going to meet with Jeff Clark if they can find him. This world is nuts, you know. It's just absolutely nuts. There's an open line in Dade at 751 WIOD. Here's a mobile on the Boca line. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Uh-huh.
How are you?
What do you want?
I want to know how you doing.
11:16 at WIOD. We don't need any of Calder's listeners calling in here this morning. We got enough problems already. I shouldn't say that. He'll get, you know him. So emotional and sensitive. Oh, he's been pretty funny the last few days, you know? Kind of surprising. Okay, we have an open line in Boca at 278-9463. 278 WIOD. Yeah, let's talk about Lester for a couple hours, okay? I think we'll get some action on that. God almighty, this town, the things that you people, but don't forget, no matter what I say, to show you how ridiculous that is, I can sit here and I can bring up 40 subjects in the first hour, and I can, like when I used to do topics, okay, and get all emotional, and there's not one person out there that'll respond to a single one of them, right? So obviously I have this mesmerizing control over the audience, okay? Boy, these people, man, they just make it up as they... Good call. 11:17, and look at that, right on the heels of that. He's a pain, but he's okay.
I like him, too.
But he takes himself too seriously. Like I can't believe he calls you and got hostile.
I can't either. Yeah, but said
what did he get hostile about?
He said I ripped him.
So who cares?
And
if anybody I know deserves to be ripped, it's Lester.
Well, that's basically what I said.
And he admits he just bets jockeys. He don't know anything about horses. All these sycophants that hang out with him on the roof garden up there. Oh, Lester, what do you go? Lester don't have anything. All he does is bet on Jorge Duarte and Derek Acevedo, okay? And Derek's okay. He's a good rider. Doesn't get many good mounts, but he's a good rider. And Duarte, I'm so glad he left town again. Holy Toledo. In fact, he probably got lost and wound up in Toledo. That's he just gets lost everywhere he goes, that Duarte. Terrible.
Well, I didn't rip him. I just want to put
that Duarte? Oh, Lester.
I did not.
It's not what I heard.
I did not rip him.
We have a break that we're way. Well, we'll get to it when we feel like it, okay? When you got as much power as I've got, you just do it whenever the hell you feel like it, okay? Like about midnight. Now, we want to tell you about... Now, Cheryl, what is it that you're doing? Please take all you want, because you're like family, and those are... You want a cheeseburger, Spencer?
What you got for me?
Royal Castle burger. It's a Nelly burger.
All right, give it to me.
If you eat that, you'll be real Nelly within about a half an hour. What? Trafe. It's Trafe. Yeah, me too. It's 11:30 at WIOD. We have an open line in Boca. I just mentioned this just in case Spencer is in the studio, and he's not too impressed to see a couple of open lines. You're not impressed, right? We got 8 lines, and 2 of the Palm Beach lines are not lit up. That means they don't like us up there anymore.
They didn't love us, but they just don't have anything to say.
They don't have nothing to say. Well, that's a good point. You know something, Spencer? I think he finds they have nothing to say.
That's right.
Because you know something? Even when they do call, they have nothing to say.
That's right.
In fact, even in Dade and Broward, the same as usually right on the show. They have nothing to say.
Tell those people one thing.
Yes, sir.
So we love you, and they'll get the call.
Yeah. We love you in Boca.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work, Spencer.
West Palm Beach, too.
West Palm, we love you. Nothing's happening, Spencer. Why do you keep coming back? Oh, you came back for a little lunch there, right?
Bum,
12:06 at WID. We didn't stop that just in the right spot.
Now, can I guess today who does that and embarrass myself?
That's isn't that the isn't that Ernie Cato?
Isn't it Little Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toughie.
Yeah, redeem myself from yesterday.
Yeah, that's like when Ranieri's doing the birthdays. You know, he gets to like Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Entertainer. Hey, good. Attaboy, Henry. Hey, that Henry, man. Is he good or what, huh? Attaboy, Henry. Just take another swig and shut up. Okay, we got an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD. We want to keep these lines pulsating today, ladies and gentlemen. We want to build to a crescendo for the Kane Show. And I had to kind of rush my promo there, Steve, today. Reaction to the president's message on the drug war. Mm-hmm. Boy, is that exciting. Huh? Just say no to El Presidente. Boy, what a joke. I mean, you know, Bush is so wimpy that nobody even cares about him, you know? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I mean, Reagan, at least, even as malignant as he was, Reagan at least had some comic quality. You know what I'm saying? In other words, he was good to make fun of and satirize. But Bush is just such a total washout, it's not even worth the effort. You notice everybody basically ignores him.
You notice there's no impression?
Nothing.
No impression.
Zero.
Like Reagan, everybody did Reagan.
Yeah.
Well,
how could you do an impression of George Bush?
They're still doing Reagan.
Gosh darn upset about that flag.
Golly.
Yeah, by golly, jeez.
But it shows they'll be doing Reagan
and when somebody dies, you talk about a cold fish. I remember when one of the, I forget who it was, but one of our allies, one of the world leaders died. He said, about that, I know who it was. It was the Soviet, what was his name? Was it Gromyko? Andrei Gromyko? About the Gromyko thing, yeah, I want to send my sympathies along. I mean, he just doesn't even sound like he means it, okay? And then they were asking him about Bart Giamatti the other day, and it was, I want to be sure and send my sympathies. He was a great friend, and Really, a lot for baseball. He just a wimp, you know. He's just a total washout. Okay?
Yeah.
See. It's 12:08 here in the Magic City, and if there's anybody who speaks English, we certainly invite you to call the show now at Broward 524.
Oh, we missed Joey's show.
WIOD, and that explains this week. See, this week they're all sampling the Joey Reynolds show, and we're having a hell of a time, man, making these phones light up the way they usually just like biorhythms. They're spontaneous. And this week we're pumping these numbers, and I should have realized with the debut of the Joey Reynolds show, it's going to be a bitch all week long. Now I feel a little bit better. Then we got Rush Limbaugh for one of his last appearances on WIOD at 8 o'clock, right up till the Yankees at Seattle. There's that word again, the Mariners. Boy, are they bad, at 10 p.m. How the Yankees and the Mariners do last night? Does anybody know? Because the Yankees had won 5 in a row, and God, I'd hate to see them start building, because then Bucky Dent will get fired for sure. Let's go to this mobile in Broward. Hello.
Hi, Neil. It's Stuart. A first-time caller.
Stuart. You're calling from Stuart?
Yeah. No, I'm Stuart.
Oh.
Listen, in the South Florida Business Journal, there was an article with Arlene Ross. It was called 60
Yeah, somebody called yesterday, and please don't embarrass me. This is your first call?
Yeah.
Don't make it a real short one, okay? Somebody called yesterday, and it didn't make any sense then, and it still won't make any sense now, okay?
Oh.
The fact is that Arlene Ross, what is she doing in the South Florida Business Journal?
Yeah, what's the article about?
It was,
What's it about? The, what are they, Mount Rushmore?
it was about her history in radio and TV.
Oh, yeah. She's a giant in the industry, man.
She had some good words for you, too.
Her butt would cover the entire magazine.
She had some good words for you when they put it in the paper as well.
Yeah, I just said, did I just say to this guy that we had a call about this yesterday?
Yeah, well, then that's about it.
Okay.
Adios.
Excellent call, Stuart.
Nice first call.
Stuart he didn't hang on long enough to let me make him understand that we don't harbor any grudge against him. What is this?
Roseanne, why don't you just put on a headline? You'd wreck a summer if it doesn't see you coming in the night. Roseanne.
I don't like it. Do you?
You don't like the original Roxanne?
No, I just don't think it's funny.
Okay.
Now, this could be. I doubt it, but it could be. Like I said.
Once a time long ago, we'd be singing for some doves.
Is this Zeta?
The Eagles like to rock and roll. We were flying high. Hotel California days, down on the beach, soaking up the rays. We knew those days had to end. I can't stand Glen Pride. We got tired and we got old. Movie soundtracks in the fold. I did crummy solo stuff. Bill Fry did Miami Vice. But you can burn yourself all out. Glenda songs on working.
These are kind of morbid, aren't they?
I can't walk or jump a fence.
No.
But
They're not?
See, this is... Don Henley has a big hit record called The Age of Innocence right now.
Yeah.
And this is just a spoof of it. You know?
But it's morbid. It just sounds morbid, doesn't it?
Think of that.
Like I said, it's morbid. Well, wait a minute. Let's see. 19. One moment, please. We're working on this. Isn't this a repeat?
Once we said make love, not war. Now make $1 million for hippies back in '68. Yuppies once we graduate.
Isn't this a takeoff on that Rick Weaver hit?
Yeah.
My corporation, baby.
That's Mr.
No, don't worry. I'm not going to get out and play it.
Mr. Weaver.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Weaver to you, especially with that first official game on Sunday. Oh, here we go. This is going to get Lycus upset. Go nuts. By the way, did you see Jeff Edwards is on a game show again? He looks like he's 100 years old.
Really?
At least. Looks older than Joey. Well, carried away. Come on already. Wow. Can you imagine Ricky Ticky doing a talk up to this? I don't think they ever sing anything. Do they?
He's still there, by the way. I heard him yesterday.
Oh, you know why? This is... That's the music bed. They don't sing anything. I like that. He is still there?
Yeah, I heard him yesterday.
Okay, now wait a minute.
If you fry your cats in crystal, make them tasty and crispy everywhere. If you fry your cats in crystal, you won't miss them at picnics everywhere. All across the nation, animal lover patience grows thin. All the consternation, Greenpeace and the nation say not again, not again. Oh, please do not fry your cats in crystal.
Okay, 20 past noon at WIOD. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like the whole concept, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this. We moved up on the next break already. Isn't that exciting? I'm going to kind of flip-flop these two spots because the person who made the log again is displaying a mentality. Well, I guess it's the old WIOD mentality again, isn't it? Called non-compos mentis. Anyway, let's...
Loan me $50.
Okay, 24 past noon. He's just everywhere, isn't he? 24 after 12 at WIOD. Let's get to these calls now, because we promised to really do a number on these calls, didn't we?
Did we?
We're going to do a number. Watch. Boca, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah.
You still got a few loyal listeners and patient ones in Boca.
We got a few patients in Boca, huh?
Yeah, right. Right. The bird might like to know that Sakova got eaten up 6-1, 6-1.
Oh.
But I know you're not
depressing.
interested in tennis, but I am. Hey, you in the mood for a good deed?
A what?
A good deed for a good cause that you could pick?
Probably not.
Well, I'm not surprised to hear you say that. You know, when Publix went out of those green stamp business, a lot of us are stuck with them. Would you like us to send them in to you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it.
Good.
Okay.
Send him to Mike Disney. He's going to need him pretty soon.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Have a great life.
You do the same.
Don't call us too soon now. 25 past noon at WIOD. He thinks he did us a favor because he called on that Boca line, huh?
Baby. You have got the freshest breath. What's that toothpaste you use?
You're a sweet talker. I know what you want.
You won't
What do you think I am, a sword swallower?
Come on, baby. You know what I want.
No way. Not until you run down to the drugstore and get those... You know what?
You won't stay, get condom. You won't stay, get condom. You won't stay.
What?
That doesn't make it. You know what the name of that cut is? Close off toothpaste. Does that make any sense to you?
No, they're stretching.
What? Stretching?
A point.
Oh.
New from Paraffin Pictures. It's a story of love.
Gee, Sally, I just love that hair on your back.
A story of friendship.
You know, you've changed me a lot. 5 years ago, I could have never gone out with a man who had less hair on his chest than me.
Directed by Rob Reiner. When Sally Got Hairy.
Hey, Sally, is that a paintbrush sticking out of your nose?
You goof, leave me alone.
His hair's receding. Her hair's protruding. A film that proves opposites do attract.
Look, all I'm saying is that a man and a woman can't be friends without having sex. But in your case, I'll make an exception.
When Sally Got Harry, now playing at a theater near you. Rated PH.
Listen, I understand Ron Jeremy's playing in that one, too. Is that true? Now, this ought to be great. Perfect for this town.
Chances are, somewhere near you right now, they're turning an auditorium into a giant mud pit. And that's an opportunity for you to make big bucks as a monster truck announcer. That's why you need to call Big Wheels Truck Announcing School. At Big Wheels, you'll learn how to make your voice sound big with echo.
Mud, mud, everywhere, mud.
You'll learn how to talk fast.
Mud here, mud there, everywhere on Mud, mud. Special guest, Muddy Waters, Roger Mudd, country superstars, the Muds. Mud, dirt, slide, sludge.
You'll learn to say those truck names with authority.
Giant Super Crunch Monster, Bigfoot, the Abominable Snowman, Awesome Kong, King Kong, Hong Kong, Big Dog.
Sign up today for Big Wheels Truck Announcing School by calling 1-800-TRUCK-YOU.
First 100 callers get a
Let's put this disc away and save it for a rainy day on some other station. Boy, just see this meeting coming up at 2 o'clock again.
Oh, man.
Don't ask me. I don't have anything to do with those discs. All they do is bring them in here, okay? 28 past noon at WIOD. What's this, a little hate card? The Victims. Oh, it's one of those movie things. The Victims. Motion Pictures. MOCHON. Cordially invites you and a guest to a sneak preview. The first motion picture to address the issue of AIDS as it affects a heterosexual couple. I'm sure Steve would not be interested in that. Okay, who's that on the bat line, I wonder? Is that one of Nick's doing? It's 12:29 at WIOD. The Steve Kane Show this afternoon exclusively on WIOD. That's because nobody else in town will air it. Reaction to the president's message on the drug war. Guest to be announced at a later date. And then Sports Talk with Joe and Hank at 6:05. Rush Limbaugh, one of your last chances to hear this vile creature at 8 o'clock. And the Yankees at Seattle at 10. And now we got 3 open lines on the board. I really think this is going to be it for me today. You know, I'm going to take a long rest. This is some slap in the face, isn't it? Are we doing something different than we ever did before?
I haven't noticed.
No.
Something.
I thought we gave them plenty of things to sink their teeth into, like, you know, bottled water, gas or no gas, stuff like that. And they're just indifferent today. And even the ones who are calling are basically useless as hell, aren't they?
Yeah. It's true.
Enough to make me want to put that disc back in there. Almost. Almost.
I enjoyed it.
And then Roger said tomorrow's Buddy Holly's birthday. Well, not his birthday. Is it his birthday?
Yeah, it's his birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Buddy. Let's have a big party for Buddy Holly tomorrow. Too bad he can't be here to be with us, but...
Right. But we remember him.
Yeah, we sure remember him well. He couldn't sing his way out of a paper sack. He couldn't, you know. I mean, I like his music, but he couldn't sing at all. Let's be honest about it, okay?
Well, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Contest maybe. Upcoming a reactivated smashback, Leslie Gore, Your Party, Top Singers, and Hey Girl, and hits keep coming here with BMR, and here's one right now next to the ship box.
Boy, what a talk-up, huh?
Well, at least he didn't step on it.
Friends, wasn't that the fastest shave that you ever saw on radio? I hope this little conversation is not a little dull, friends. A little 1190 rock it on as we do it with Dion.
This guy was terrible. This guy was on the air in New York.
Heard a little reverb there.
Figures he was on the air in New York. He was awful. B. Mitchell Reed. Did anybody in the audience ever hear of this guy? Did you ever hear of him?
Not at all.
Okay. How about you?
Yeah, I sure did.
Did you?
I never heard of the guy.
Okay, hold on. How about you?
No, I didn't either, Neil.
All right. Line 4.
No, not really.
Okay. 5.
Neil.
Did you ever hear of B. Mitchell Reed?
No.
Okay, hold on. 6.
No idea.
You sound a little like him, though. Hold on. I think that guy's practicing doing talk-ups. 8. Hello.
Hello.
Did you ever hear this guy?
Is he in relation to J. Frank Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, they just had shared their last kiss. Who is this?
This is Steve. How you doing?
Steve?
Yeah.
Aren't you going to be on the air in a little while?
Trust me, I'm not that Steve.
This sounds like Lee Fowler Jr. Jr. Trust me. Boy, what a line that is. When anybody says to me, trust me, I start running.
I heard his incredible phone call on the Bill Calder show the other morning.
Who's that?
Lee Fowler.
Oh, I wish I would have heard that. And it was the real Lee Fowler, wasn't it?
Boxcar Willie, he called himself.
Oh, boy. Who the hell is he kidding? Yeah. And he's spreading a lot of rumors. Calder told me yesterday that Fowler called him, and he's spreading all kinds of ugly rumors as usual. You know, he's a big troublemaker.
He's the Radio Yenta of Palm Beach.
That's the guy. Well, you know, since Levitt came back to Miami, somebody had to fill those shoes.
Boy, those are tough shoes to fill.
Yeah, size 18. Who is this guy? This guy's got all the material. I can't believe. What time is your show on?
I had to call you because have you ever heard of Nightmare on Elm Street 6?
Well, yeah, 7, 8, and 9.
That's right.
Coming soon to a TV screen near you.
Is 6 out already?
Well, it will be because last Friday night I was thinking of Neil because I was watching the Cubs. I'm a big Cub fan. And I'm watching, and in the same game they had Pico, Kilgus, and Wilson.
That's Nightmare on Addison Street.
It was incredible.
Yeah. Well, I got news for you. When Pico and Kilgus both pitched last night, pitched for 7 innings.
I saw it. I couldn't believe it.
And they hold the Mets to 2 runs. That says a lot about the Mets, not about them.
The Mets should have beat them 28-0 the
Yeah.
first 2 wins.
Yeah.
But that's pretty incredible. Anyway, I just want to say, I know the management seems to be harassing you again.
No, they're not. They're not exactly harassing. They're just. I think the word you're looking for is incompetent.
Yeah. Well,
No, they're not. They're really not harassing. No, in fact, quite to the contrary. They're telling me how wonderful I am and how I've got this tremendous power over the audience and I can just do all these incredible things. And I can't take responsibility for anything else other than these hours.
But you're kind of a bitter pill.
That's why. So they did say that. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I was thinking of a.
And I said, swallow this.
I was thinking of a great lineup on WQAM with Calder in the morning, you in the midday, and Stan in the afternoon. It would be incredible.
Stan.
We
Boy,
miss him.
you really are regressing.
We
sir.
miss him.
Well, I don't miss him. I talk to him every day.
I know, but we don't get to talk to him every
And
day.
he still has no show, believe me.
But it's better than what's on at 2 o'clock.
Now, see, you're starting it again. In fact, Steve, I swear to God, just as you said that, he walked into the control room.
Isn't that great?
And you're wounding this poor guy. Will you leave him alone? He's working for a bunch of brain-dead morons.
Well, that's cool, because at 2 o'clock I turn it right to Ron St. John.
Well, you are desperate.
I am.
Have a great day.
You too.
That guy was kind of interesting until he started bashing Steve mercilessly there. It's 12:42 at WIOD. We have it open. Steve doesn't care anymore. He's beyond that point. No, he really is. He doesn't care. He's beyond that point. No, how does it feel to know that you're working for morons? Doesn't that disturb you a little bit? I don't want to, oh, there he goes. He's going to put a message. He's not coming in here, but he's putting it on the screen. I mean, these people are they're embarrassing. Oh, he's used to it. Yeah, well, that's true. You've been in the business this long. But, geez, I mean, it's frightening. If these people could get a hearing aid and just hear anything you're saying to them, and they don't absorb anything. They need to get Rosie with some bounty or something in this place, because they're just totally non-absorbent. Oh, God. Anyway, we have an open line. I don't want to say non-absorbent because then that guy up in Washington will get all upset again with the FCC, Alex Trebek or whatever his name is. 655 WIOD. It is shocking. We do have an open line in Palm Beach. I know that comes as a tremendous surprise. That guy was a pretty good caller, wasn't he?
He was prepared.
He sounds like he could be doing 8 to midnight pretty soon. No, it isn't a secret. I guess that part of our conversation, and they don't ask me who I'd want because they would never hire the people I want anyway. But they are going to get somebody to replace Bush Bang Bang, like a real living and breathing person.
Yes, that's the word.
But I think what they probably will do, because they don't want to go overboard in the beginning, whoever they hire to do nights, they will have him tape the show first, and then we'll run the tape, because we're very nervous about putting too much live programming on WIOD, right? And so we'll have the guy put it on tape, and then we'll run it on delay. All right? Well, you can never be too safe when you work at WIOD.
Well,
right?
I heard they run the delay when they run back.
Actually, no, what we're going to do is we're going to have Nick edit the tapes, then we'll play the tape and still run it on delay.
Yeah.
And how's that for being cautious? Okay.
That's what they do on Saturday.
Right.
They run.
And
the
what
delay.
we're going to do is during the 8 to midnight, we'll bring in about 4 lawyers to sit in the... Well, there's a lot of room in the studio, right? And when there's nobody in here when the tapes are playing, and they'll sit in here, and they'll one of them they'll take turns, like umpires, rotate in a baseball series, how the umpire starts at home plate, and then they, rotate around. Well, we'll do the same. We'll have a panel of 4 attorneys in here, and the head attorney, if I can say that, will be the one whose finger's on the dump button, okay? And he's got 7.5 seconds. They have a little mini conference when the guy says greps or pukes or something. And I dump it, and then whoever's sitting here will make the final decision. Okay?
Not funny.
Oh, it's pathetic. 1244 at WIOD. Miami, hello. Welcome to a real place.
How you doing, Neil?
Oh, we're doing great, sir. This is what it's all about.
Listen, since the call's been so bad, why don't you fly with me? I'm leaving tomorrow to Chicago.
Are you?
Yeah, listen, I got a sports-intensive weekend. I got the Cubs game on Friday.
Are you going?
Yeah.
You got tickets? Boy, that must be a hard...
My best friend lives up there. He's a lawyer up there, so he got tickets for me.
Boy, that's going to be great, because it must be impossible to get tickets now for the Cardinal series.
It's a big rivalry.
And in Montreal, how long are you going to be there?
Oh, I got the whole week, and then I'm driving to Wisconsin Saturday to watch the Canes play.
Wow. Well, you are a wild child.
He's got tickets for the Bears. I don't think I want to go see those stupid Bears, though.
No, now that McMahon's gone, it's not any fun anymore,
I know. I'll just try and sneak into the Cubs game on Sunday. It's going to be tough, but...
I think if the Bears want to bring back some fun, they should bring Abe Gibberin back as head coach.
Who?
Don't you remember big fat Abe Gibberin? He was like about 400 pounds.
No, I'm only 25, Neil. I'm not that old.
No, this wasn't that many years ago. I think Abe Gibberin was there right before Ditka, I believe.
I don't remember. I don't remember who the coach. I think it was Jack Pardee, the coach, before Ditka was.
Abe was pretty forgettable. Okay, he had a beer belly the size of the state of Iowa.
Really?
Yeah.
Bert, I'm watching Sabatini play on USA. She looks really cute.
Wow.
Great.
But
are
she's
you
a little
sure?
Butch, I think.
What?
She's too butch for me, though.
What? Yeah, most of those women tennis players, man, they could knock you into the ground in 2 seconds just with a stiff uppercut.
No, seriously, I've seen her in person at the airport one day. She looks a little butch.
Boyish.
Yeah, boyish, yeah.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like Martina, just a little butch.
Yeah, just slightly.
Like she'd like to drive her pickup truck over your feet. Okay, listen, have a great time. Give us a call from up there if you get a chance.
All right, but
like
I'm going to be during the weekend, so I'll call you Monday then.
Okay.
I hope the Cubs sweep them, all right?
Well, I got my fingers and legs crossed.
Because I'm a New Yorker, but I hate those Mets. I'm a Yankee fan.
Well... how did the Yankees do last night?
They won last night, 12-2.
6 in a row. Boy, look out.
Oh, we're doing it now,
Yeah, that George baby, I guess Bucky is maybe safe till the end of next week anyway.
But those birds better be careful back in the race.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Hey,
boy, there's a real dreamer, huh?
And here, friends, is what bliss when you 1190 seal it with a
That was disgusting, wasn't it? I don't think even Ricky Ticky would have done that. Let's back that up again. No, that was disgusting.
You hit it.
Doesn't that sound like eggs frying on the grill? That sounds like that's from Arnold Drill Castle. I hear those little burgers sizzling on the grill. Don't you hear it? What happened?
He hit it.
That was sick. No wonder nobody wants to admit that they ever heard of B. Mitchell Reed. And one thing about our audience, man, no matter what you ask, they don't know the answer.
No.
They know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. Zero. There must be somebody. Well, we had Cousin Brucey in the studio yesterday. That didn't seem to do much for anybody, All these New York. Well, they're all out there pouting because of the Mets, Bunch of real crybabies. 1248 at WIOD. Steve, reaction to the president? What?
That's what he said, yeah.
You don't believe it?
I don't know.
I believe it.
It's very possible.
Hank's turning out to be a vicious guy. He really is. Oh, anyway, are we back? 106 at WIOD. We got a call from Vegas on there? What the hell is that about? We don't, do we want to talk to them? Wait a minute. What's all among in this envelope? This is supposed to be a book. What is that?
Ooh.
Oh,
yucky.
God, there's something gross inside of here, man. What is in his thing? It said a copy of my first book, Human Destiny and Woman Liberation Movement. But somebody wrote a book that's this illiterate? Jeez. And look at all the mung in here. What is this? Oh, wait a minute.
One moment, please.
Look at this. Ah! No, I'm not going to open
Yucko.
it. It's got.
Yeah, it's yucky.
But I'm fascinated as to what's inside. I got to wash my hands. Oh, this is gross. Look at that, it's wrapped again. There's another wrapper in here. Look at that. Oh. God, it's got all this goo and crap in it. Look at that. And there's really a book inside of it.
Oh, there is. Huh.
Kind of a mentally deficient person did this. Assistant professor at Miami University. Not the University of Miami. Oh, excuse me. Boy, look at all the junk in there. What did they do inside of that package? I'm afraid we can't even repeat it on the air, lest all the folks in Washington get hit. Look at this. From some douchebag in Miami Shores.
What's it called?
And it's talking about umbilical cords and, I think that's what was in that package. Ooh, gross. The book tells the story of the biggest cover-up in the history of all mankind. I wish they would have covered up whoever was in that envelope. Oh, God. Oh, look at that. Some of it got on the table and it's growing. It's like a killer penicillin or something. Okay, I guess there's somebody in Vegas here waiting patiently on the line to tell us something.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah?
Hey, how's it going, Neil? Hey, Bird.
Who's this?
It's Joe Jr.
Oh. What do you want?
What's going on down there?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing, except I just opened up an envelope that had all this mung in it.
Well, it could be any worse than those White Castle hamburgers you got in the mail one time.
Oh, those were incredible.
Oh, my God.
Those were petrified.
Yeah, so what's going on in that town, huh?
Nothing, sir. What? Read my lips. Nothing. Zero. Zippity-doo-dah. Nada.
Yeah, well, I heard
not a thing.
I heard that they got rid of the morning crew on Zeta, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And when did that happen?
They talking about that out in Vegas?
Well, I heard it from a friend. Back in Miami.
Kicking ass with 50,000 callers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lightning round on the Neil Rogers Show.
What?
Good Lord.
Isn't that incredible? I got that in the mail. Must have been from Dave Graveyard, huh?
I guess.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Dave. You know what they say, Dave? What is the story, Joe?
Oh, so anyways, nothing. I moved out here in July.
You moved out there?
Yeah, I got
Bad move, pal.
No, are you kidding? It's a great town out here.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a little too exciting out there. I think the culture shock will get to you shortly.
Yeah. Listen, Neil, I'm kind of pissed. You were, before you went on your vacation in July, you promised me you would play the casinos. You never did.
Well, I can't find it.
Well, that's...
Or the casinos.
Hmm?
I can't find the record, okay? And how do you know I never did?
Because I listened.
Well, I can't find it.
Well, that's about it. I've got
Okay.
a life over here. You know, I'm living over here.
Yeah, obviously. Well, if our playing that record or not is, the hinging on the rest of your life, I guess
No,
it must
I mean,
be.
it's not a big deal. It's just
I just don't have it, okay? If I would have found it, I would have played it, okay? But for you to bring that up again and try to, give me a guilt complex, I can't believe that.
Well,
I'm really depressed.
Well, you can make up for it. Just put me on hold.
Okay. 11 past 1 at WIOD, and let's go to a real city, Boca.
Neil. Neil. I want to talk about the Flagler incident. I want to encourage everyone to stay away.
It's 11 after 1 at WIOD. You know, you idiots that call with these phony voices and talking like you just came out of the streets of the Bronx or somewhere, just get lost, will you? Go back to Brooklyn and show everybody your true colors, if you pardon that expression, okay? It's 11 past 1. Boy, I can't believe it. I'm going to juggle this hour around. She's got this log so screwed up, honest to God. I wouldn't wish this log on Paul Lyle, okay?
Good.
No, I mean it. Who does these logs now? God almighty. Old what's-her-name, she wasn't competent enough. I guess she just didn't keep her mouth shut, huh? She was she knew what she was doing. Boy, they got somebody doing these logs now. I just, well, it kind of fits. It's like every other part of the day-to-day business here at WIOD. It's, I think the word I'm looking for is disaster. Isn't that what it is? Anyway, we want to remind you, speaking of where that sounded, you know, but they've only got two hands.
Owe me $50.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a call from Pompano. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Hi, Bird.
Yeah.
This is Ron F. Sharp Music in Pompano.
Uh-oh.
One of those chronic guys. I've been labeled chronic. I heard it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it. I finally did it.
You know who this is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you are.
You have a bad look on his face when you said that, Neil? Oh, boy, I can see the look. Yeah, I saw the Joy Reynolds show over the weekend. Hey, Neil.
Do you mind if I sit back a little bit? Your breath is very bad.
Did Joey used to kiss you before he had his TV show? Or is that just like showbiz stuff that he's doing now? Is he just like trying to be like, you know, all the other
Joey kisses everybody.
That's
okay?
true.
And he did before the TV show?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, he's really ugly. I wouldn't want to kiss him either.
No.
But he didn't do that before the TV show, though?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
He's always done it. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. He makes about $100 million on his TV show, and he leaves some cash with every kiss. Then it's a different story. Of course, they have a name for that, but that's beside the point.
Oh, you know what you got to do about your fingernail, the jam finger?
I don't want to discuss it with you. It's 124 at WIOD because you certainly just hearing your voice brings many immediate possible answers to mind. Let's take a call from Miami. Hello. Hello. Huh. Isn't that straight? Oh, there it goes. I like hearing the click. That it's definitive. Then you know that you've been shined, okay? You know what? Oh, you know what I mean, sir?
Huh?
Okay.
I know exactly what you mean, Neil.
Okay, well, it's been nice talking to you, but you've been tying up that line long enough, okay? Okay, now we got some open lines, one in date anyway, 751 WIOD. We got Hank and Joe on Sports Talk tonight, and Joe is going to put Hank on the spot and ask him why he's such a troublemaking putz. And then and that's for Joe. That's going to be quite quite an accomplishment. And then we got Rush Limbaugh, one of his very last appearances on WIOD, followed by the Yankees at Seattle at 10. Hurricanes on Saturday in Wisconsin. Boy, they're really playing a toughie to start, huh?
That's right.
Is that the girls' team or the guys? And then, of course, the Dolphins, and this is no laughing matter, taking on the Bills at Joe Robbie Stadium on Sunday. Oh, boy.
Now, is that game blacked out?
Palm Beach.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, Bird.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hey,
Hey.
When you guys are...
How you doing? Come on now, don't fall apart on the street. You're on that very important Palm Beach line, and as soon as I punched you up, two other lines dropped off. I mean, you got an important responsibility to fill here.
Hey, I was hired, you know. Hey,
we'll be real lucky to get through the whole show here today.
They're selling Bambi, you know, Blockbuster, you know, 28th.
Bambi?
Yeah, Bambi. You know, Bird. You ever watch Bambi? Remember I talked to you about 6 months ago?
Remind me.
No.
Oh, what are you saying?
I don't understand.
No, Bambi. You know, okay, Bambi. You know the movie Bambi.
The movie Bambi, Walt Disney.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got Flower that goes up to Bambi, goes Bird.
Oh. No, I don't remember.
Oh, isn't that cute? You mean we went through all of that for that?
Hey, you know, this is the Palm Beach line.
Yeah, I can't expect too much. Hey, listen, anything you want, as long as it kills a couple of minutes. Let's see, we got 7 other calls, 2 minutes, 15.
When's Arbitron coming in? Ratings.
There'll be another trend in sometime next week. They are telling us, because we don't you understand, sir, we don't care about any of those things. All we care about is Jack and the FCC. That's all. Those are the only two things that we care about, and they're like doing cartwheels and Disney changing underwear. And these people, I'm telling you, are just making me sick.
You know, that's really
They're
hot.
making me nauseous.
Yeah, when you go on vacation, you know, they got that.
When they start telling me again about how much power I've got and how I can manipulate the audience, and whatever I like, the audience will like, and oh, God, I mean, that sounds so familiar to me. It's like it makes me want to breath every meal I've eaten for 6 months.
Yeah, WID should hit pretty high this time, though.
I think they've been attending, you know, all these days when they've been out of town?
Yeah.
I think they've been attending the Tim Williams School of Broadcasting. I'm afraid of it. I really am, man. It sounds so familiar.
Well, how about the Connecticut School of Broadcasting?
And you know that Tim Williams boy. Well, he's got small children. We shouldn't talk about him. Well, listen, have a great day, sir. You didn't contribute a lot, but you killed 2 or 3 minutes, and that's what really counts.
Hey, well, you know, we try to help you out whenever we can.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Have a great life, pal.
All right, you take care.
Bye. 128 at WIOD. This is great, isn't it? Boy, we're on the stretch run, as they say. I'm going to even be daring and turn the CD player on again.
No, like the last time you had it.
I shut it right off, man.
Yeah, I know you did.
I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to take too many chances. What the hell is this?
What is that?
I don't know, but I sure don't want to hear it, I can tell you that. That's for the lady who doesn't like that. You know, the interesting thing is I used to like him till he added the third name. You know, I don't like this Mellencamp crap.
Yeah. I think he took that third name away. I'm serious. I think he's just back to John Cougar.
If he's smart,
I think he is.
He'll do it. So anyway, the word is the Colonel is history at Zeta. He's gone. He's out of town. He's flown the coop.
Yeah.
Mike Lyons is kind of just filling the breach there.
Mm-hmm. I heard him this morning.
In the morning at Zeta as they kind of float away into Never Never Land.
No, they got the morning show now.
Now they got it done. Okay, so when it comes out at 0.3 in this next trend, you'll know that was just a fluke. They've been refining it, and they finally got it down.
They've got it now. They got Mike Lyons in there.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
129 at WIOD, the Boca line and the Palm Beach line. Both they kind of, it's like symmetrical. All the other 6 lines are constantly lit, and those two kind of like balance out the board. There's just nothing going on. And like even Spencer was sharp enough to know that those people have nothing to say.
He's right.
It's kind of like some of the people inside the building. There's no point in meeting with them because they have nothing to say. But I'm looking forward to my 2 o'clock meeting with our sales manager because I have so many things to tell him, you know?
I bet you do.
In fact, maybe we ought to do it a little early and bring him in on the air and conduct it inside the studio. You know, no, seriously, don't you find in life that when you say something to somebody, at least this is my philosophy, you say something the first time and you try to say it reasonably and calmly, but emphatically and get your point across. And it falls on deaf ears. Then you say it a second time, and you start getting a little surly, and you try to be more emphatic because you realize that otherwise it's going to be useless. And you do a little, and then the third time you scream and you shout and you carry on and you go nuts and you do your damnedest to leave a lasting impression that just can't possibly be forgotten. And then, lo and behold. What do you do the fourth time? When it's obvious that, you know, the old expression where there's no sense, there's no feeling is coming into play. I mean, I have said certain things to this individual to the point where I've just tearful frustration, especially as regards my satellite dish situation, and then all of a sudden he'd do a like 180-degree turnaround when you least expect it and do something inane and bizarre. I don't get it. And then when Disney says to me this morning, well, who does that dish belong to? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. It belongs to me. I paid for it. I own it. The station has got nothing to do with it. Bug off. Right? Don't give me so much assistance. You know what I mean?
Well, you can tell this wall over here. You can talk to the wall.
You see that mug, that trough that Wayne Arnold brought in with the birch beer? I could take the cap off of that and just talk make hollow, reverberating sounds in there. And at least what was left in the bottom would ripple a little bit. You know what I mean? It would have some lasting effect, or at least a temporary impact. It would cause a little ripple, a little wave in the birch beer. But, boy, I mean, talk about hopeless. It's a problem because it can't happen. But if everybody could be in business for themselves, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just ridiculous because we can't do that. But that would be the ideal world where each person was like an individual contractor and we all were our own boss and never had to work for some idiot, some imbecile, okay?
I know. Boy, do I know.
And the thing that I love is they keep telling you, man, we're behind you and we're spending all of this money and we're fighting this maniac and we're doing this and we're doing that and, man, you're just the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they keep putting you in this position like oh, geez, I'm so grateful for your support and I'm so glad that, I'm not going to grovel. You know what I mean? What they used to have in this time period, I wouldn't wish on WFTF. I wouldn't wish on the motivation station, okay? The numbers and the demographics they used to have in this time period. So we don't need to keep rehashing the fact how great I am. What we need to do is, like, go on with life. Is that possible? No. I guess I'm being unrealistic again. You know how we we lapse into these old habits again of being just unrealistic and having unreasonable expectations. 134 at WIOD. A final search shows that every one of you is a moron, okay?
It's true.
Yeah.
It is
the research.
True. Mindless.
Do you realize that there are people starving and these stations are paying money to these fakers and consultants for quote-unquote research? And you know what? When all the research is done, you know what it shows you? It shows you things that any moron could have told you right off the bat to begin with.
Of course.
But they're so insecure and they're so incompetent that they have to keep reinforcing it. Oh, gee, look at that. Look how popular this one is. Look how, it's all there in the book anyway, isn't it? It's all there in the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, and they just keep spending and spending and doing these focus groups and having people repeat the same things over and over. And the only reason anybody wants to do that is because they don't know what they're doing. Who is that?
This boy here?
That's not a boy.
Yes, it is. I wanted to tell you about
Jack is going to be writing things down again. I can't see the picture. It was upside down.
Boy falls in love with box of soap.
Well, how old is he?
Well, I wanted to tell you about this. A teenager.
I don't want you to read it, okay?
Why?
Because I don't trust you to read it. You're incompetent because you'll say disgusting things like cuddling.
Oh.
This is Roberto.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's 36.
He is not. He's a teenager.
Oh, he's ugly, too, isn't he? Boy, thank God he's ugly, because I don't want to even look at him. See, I can't look. You cannot look. Like, are any of these tennis players, are they close to, like, under 30?
Oh, all of them.
Yeah. Well, I would stop. I wouldn't. No, you're too old to be looking at young women that age, okay? Jack said that, like, maybe the age of Katharine Hepburn. Is she still living?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's a good place to start. Anybody who's Katharine Hepburn's age or older, you can look at only.
Oh.
Okay.
Near 80.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
22 till 2 at WIOD. Here's a call from beautiful Sebring, Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, how you doing?
Or is this Sebring, New York?
Sebring, Florida.
That's what I thought.
Came up here this morning.
Well, that's great. Sounds like it's exciting.
You got it wrong.
I know.
How's your jam finger doing?
Well, it's jamming.
Yeah, I would like to say hi to a couple friends down there, Steve and George.
Oh, a couple of real douchebags, I understand.
Yeah.
So we can't say that on the air because they'll get all upset in Washington again, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you know what you could do about that jam finger?
Yeah, I know. 21 till... Boy, he disappeared, didn't he? 21 till 2 at WIOD, Miami. Hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yeah, he was in Sebring like I'm in Pahokee. Yeah.
Bear with me. I'm attempting to break my maiden here today. I just had a couple of items for you.
Oh, yeah, that's like most of the horses I bet on at Calder. Like Judy's red shoes the other day.
You know that...
It's like her maiden voyage with George Duarte, who stopped at the Holiday Inn for a good night's rest. Yes, sir.
The sports promotion that WIOD did with Don Shula, the Hungry Man. Isn't he about famished by now? You ought to invite him in for lunch with you one day.
Yeah, I think starving would be the operative word. But don't forget, those are only exhibition games. Just wait till Sunday.
Right. But
then it's really going to be something.
Probably your good friend Hank Goldberg could arrange that for you.
Well, he used to be my best friend, but we're not on speaking terms anymore. He turned out to be a real putz.
Another item, too, for Steve Kane. Ileana Ross is having a picnic this Sunday at Tropical Park.
Isn't that great?
Did he get his invitation?
Yeah. In fact, he just was opening it as you mentioned that.
Because there is going to be free food here.
Yeah. Well, Steve is going to be attending. He wants to kind of mend his fences.
Okay. Tell him to look for Pavilion number 1.
Okay. See you, sir. Very terminal call. 140, 20 till 2 at WIOD. We've got, 2. What happened to Johnny Dark, by the way? You notice he shined...